G'day world, Chris Hogan and Andrew Grote coming to you live from the Mid-Media studio here at Burleigh Heads for episode 73 of Get Fact Up. I'm already losing my voice. Yes! We're back in our studio. We've had a change of studio. It may not look different to you, but it does to us. It's actually a little bit better. So feel free to utilise this studio for yourselves if you want. We can do vodcasting from the studio, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Okay, so Andrew's actually not feeling the best, so we're going to crack on. Today's about the Facebook algorithm updates that have happened, that were announced on January 11th of 2018, and we've got the world in an uproar, and they are all a little bit panicky about whether or not, so especially the ad world, whether or not Facebook is going to be still useful for all of the marketing that we produce or use to distribute through there. So, all right. Why are people all worried?
Well, I don't really think people need to be worried. I mean, if we're using Facebook's platform, they're well within their right to change algorithms and stuff like that, and everyone's being affected. So we're all still on a level playing field. It's not like anyone's getting an advantage over anyone else. But I think that what's got people worried is how many people are kicking and screaming about this change, because this change really affected all like the big news companies and things like that. They've been really crippled by it. So there's a lot of things being published about Facebook making some detrimental changes. But
so what are the actual changes? Let's run through those.
Yeah, so Mark Zuckerberg announced saying that he wanted to take the focus off of corporate identity and things like that and advertising, and move back towards it being a communication social platform. He wants you to be able to see more of the posts of your friends and family, and things that are getting a lot of comments from your friends are going to be favoured over what Facebook thinks you should be looking at,
or the branded content that's coming through from advertisers.
But I mean, if you think about it, that's what Facebook should be anyway. I mean, it's a communications social platform. That's what it should be. So they're kind of backtracking to what Facebook was supposed to be in the early days. But I think everyone's just worried this time because it's created a big ripple. But does it affect small businesses? Not necessarily that much. Yeah, it's the bigger businesses that are copying it.
Yeah. So some of the things they've said is that, obviously the ads that are being produced, or the content that's being shared rather, by brands on Facebook aren't going to reach as many eyeballs essentially, because they're going to prioritize the friends and family content over the branded content. But they haven't really articulated, in any documents or anything like that, even in the presentation that Zuckerberg, when he announced it, whether or not advertisers are going to get penalised, whether or not the ads that we're putting in place for the content we're sharing is actually not going to get the reach that it always has, has in the past few years. So, content marketing, we've said it many times before, we utilize Facebook as a distribution network to get a little bit of a boost in the traffic to our content on our websites. Now, they have indicated that content that is shared via Facebook and directs people back to websites may not be as potent or powerful as it once was. But they haven't indicated, well, if you actually go and put your paid advertising around that and boost it to your target audience, whether or not that's going to be affected. Now, the world's in an uproar, and Adweek actually have an excellent article where they've chimed in, where they've had experts, advertising experts, chime in and give their opinions. And everybody still is, of the same mind. We're not really sure this is going to make much of a difference, especially given that, we put advertising dollars towards our content. So until the changes actually come into place over the next few months, nobody's really going to know what's going on.
Well, I think the reason why all these experts don't know is because they're not the ones sitting down creating ads for clients and things like that. I can tell you with probably 90% certainty that it really has affected the advertising capabilities of Facebook, like these changes. But it's not just been like bang on January 11th. This has been sort of rolling out for quite a while. The noose has been tightening around certain types of ads. But that doesn't necessarily affect people that are using Facebook for the right thing. I think the people that are going to get hurt are the ones that are using Facebook. The small businesses that are using Facebook like big brands, the ones that are just trying to push ads out there as many as possible. They're the ones that are going to cop it. But you shouldn't be using Facebook for that anyway. No. You must know that your days are numbered if you're doing that sort of thing. If you're using Facebook in a way where you're trying to push out content that gets conversation and engagement and stuff like that, you won't even notice. The biggest thing I've found in terms of differences when you're creating ads is you get punished for having too much overlaid text in your images and videos. That's almost gone now. They have a 20% text rule, which means that on an image or a video, only 20% of that real estate on that image or video can be text. So, for example, like overlaid logo or something like that. The 20% rule is more like a 2% rule now. And even then, like you may have like, say, a sign in the background of a photo, and they'll still say your reach has been lowered because there's too much text in this image. They're still referring back to the same policies that says it needs to be less than 20%. I have a feeling that will be changed all of a sudden to say pretty much no text.
So this change is basically not unlike what we've seen happen in I guess, the Google world, where Google decided that, they were going to start giving better search engine ranking to people that were putting out more meaningful content, more engaging content, more helpful content, and decrease those websites that are basically just putting out crap or spamming. So Facebook are basically adopting the same ideas, which is great, because if you are putting out great content like we do here, that is thought-provoking, it begs to promote those comments and that interaction with consumers, and also video content is still going to be king. Especially Facebook Live. It's been noted that Facebook Live gets around 6 times the organic reach that any other post would on Facebook. So if you're doing those things, which we do here at Me Media, then essentially, there's nothing to worry about. So encouraging those comments in a non-spammy way, they're basically saying don't ask people to put a happy or a sad face if they like this content. Actually ask them questions.
Just give them value. That's all it's ever been. I mean, Facebook's a business in the same way that Google's a business. If they're not delivering value to the people that use it, and those people will stop using it, and then they've got a problem.
A bigger problem than what they would have if they didn't make the changes.
And I think what spurred this on is Facebook's noticed a decline in not user base, but in time that people are using Facebook. So they're noting that people are getting fed up with what's being distributed. So they just have to do something about it, or otherwise they've got a problem.
That's right.
And even Mark Zuckerberg, he literally said that. He's like, people are spending less time on Facebook. I'm spending less time on Facebook. He said he'd reduce the amount of time he spent on Facebook because he was fed up with it.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, I don't necessarily believe Mark Zuckerberg's suddenly grown a conscience. I think he's just worried about leaving behind a bad legacy at this point. I mean, he's still very much part of the company. He's still 60% shareholder. Therefore, if he says something needs to change, it'll still change. But he's almost on his way out. I don't think he wants to be known as the man that created the social media monster. He's even mentioned like things like how's this affecting children? How's this affecting their thinking and all that sort of stuff? These kids that are spending all this time on there and getting bombarded. So he's really changing his tune and coming back to the original values of Facebook.
Well, I think we need to tie it up there. I think we've given you guys some value. And look, if you feel like you've got more questions about this Facebook algorithm update, by all means, comment on our Facebook feed. Or even send in a message via email. You can grab us at studio@memedia.com.au. The link's on our website at memedia.com.au. And there's plenty more Get Fact Ups from old. And we're at episode 73, so we're going to keep on punching them out this year every week. And you'll see more of that on memedia.com.au and also on YouTube. Just search for Me Media. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.